Hey everyone, it's Sharp the Smart Ass Dragon alongside my co-host.
DSP, what's up, guys?
And today we're going to be doing a review of the greatest Royal Rumble that took place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Now we know what you're thinking. Don't adjust your YouTube channel. There was 2 this year, ish. 2 within the same year period.
Well, basically WWE did this because they were able to make money off of this.
Saudi Arabia was able to pay them a large sum to come and do it. It was a great deal investment. It's a 10-year investment, and if it goes well, it could exceed longer. And they even came out with there's a new championship. I don't think it's like a legit WWE title, but
Probably not. I don't expect it to be defended under regular rules if it's the greatest Royal Rumble championship.
I think basically every year they're going to have a Greatest Royal Rumble and it'll be defended there.
Yeah.
Also, on top of that, we got 4 Saudi Arabian talents. Possibly,
but they did real good in my opinion. Being to the point where I thought they were good. Now I think that they had the potential to become great WWE stars. And they were able to showcase their stuff by taking out the Daivari brothers. Yeah, apparently Sean Daivari also came along for the ride alongside his brother Arya Daivari, who's on 205 Live. But you know, it was nice seeing them get their butts kicked by four newbies.
Also, an exciting moment was also able to happen. Okay. All right. And I know you want to bring it up, so I'm gonna bring the other botch up that I thought was funny, and I'll let you bring up yours. All right. So during the rumble, we're gonna touch on it later. But Titus O'Neil was in it, which isn't really a secret because it was so many people. Okay. He got so excited.
Oh my freaking god!
He got so excited that he tripped down the ramp and slid completely engulfed underneath the ring. Like he disappeared for a good 2 seconds or 3 seconds.
It was like the funniest moment ever in WWE history. We'll get to my favorite botch in the event when we talk about the match of it. But yeah, that was probably like one of the funniest moments ever.
That was funny.
And WWE would not let it go.
No.
They're not gonna let this go on Titus.
They replayed it several times. Actually, it was great.
I feel bad for Titus.
All right.
Okay.
We're gonna roll into the first match.
Right. And we're gonna roll right into the first match, and that was the
instant classic. The game, the Cerebral Assassin, the King of Kings, Triple H going one-on-one with the Doctor of Thugonomics, the leader of the C Nation, John Cena. This was a good match over round. There was a lot of test of strength, which honestly I don't know why they did that, because not only does Cena look like twice as large as Triple H does, but Cena can deadlift twice as much as Triple H can. But it was a good match.
It started off a bit too slow for my opinion, but yeah, it was a good match overall.
And for the first time. I'm trying to think that we've done. I don't think we've watched another. No, for the first time since WrestleMania, we watched a pay-per-view together. He actually came over to my house and we actually watched it together. So all of our opinions, we were able to argue about in person and not, when we do this video.
And we'll do our best to argue right here in this video.
That's
anyway,
right.
Yeah, like I said, it was a bit too slow in my opinion, but it was a good match overall.
On top of Junior, though, it's gonna keep you moving, but I can't have him back there getting into shit.
And it was great just seeing 2 icons of their generation just duking it out.
Oh, I totally agree. Not only was it great to see them go, it was great to open up the show with that type of capacity of just surefire Hall of Famers going one-on-one with each other. It was a decent match. Cena was able to hit a couple attitude adjustments and put him away, kicking out of a pedigree. Triple H delivered a 5-knuckle shuffle. Took me a minute. I was trying to think of a creative name for it to be a Triple H move, but it didn't.
It'd be how about a 5 million fist drop?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the next match. Next up, we had the Cruiserweight title match between Cedric Alexander and Kalisto. The winner of the match was Cedric Alexander.
This match, my favorite physical match on the card. It was so epic, so many intricate reversals, really showing that 205 is definitely taking their shit more seriously and developed as a brand.
Well, and for that, I am proud. You guys are awesome.
You want to get in the box.
As you guys They get to make people like us feel like we could have a chance.
No bucks.
No box.
No bucks.
So, thank you guys for all that
where
you do.
going?
Not only that.
Especially the Kalisto, who pull off probably the most insane moves ever. Today.
Oh yeah, like he did a nice Hurricanrana. He got thrown up in there. He was able to turn that into a cool little almost corkscrew tornado DDT. It was so a lot of his moves were amazing. And Cedric Alexander, big ups for the fact that the cruiserweight champion is able to keep up with Kalisto. And not only that, but do some intricate moves of his own. You know what I mean? He was able to do an awesome reverse into his finisher and pull it in for the win. So that it was a good moment. It was a good moment for 205. Good moment for Cedric Alexander. He's going to be a very successful cruiserweight champion.
Okay, let's move on to the next match. We have Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy, the leader of worlds, I guess they're calling themselves.
Yeah, something like that.
Against Sheamus and Cesaro, with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy coming out the victorious.
I called this actually accidentally. I forgot that the match was scheduled, and I do a wrestling league, and then but on my game, I try to on my WWE 2K18 game, I try to keep it as current as possible on the title, so it helps me with these videos too. And I actually made them the tag champions by accident. I forgot that they were vacated, and so it was like a pre-prediction, I guess. This was obvious anyway.
Yeah, it was obvious due to the fact that Sheamus and Cesaro were going to SmackDown, and these are Raw tag titles. But also, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt have been a very good tag team recently. They're really getting a lot more momentum behind them and heat.
Whoa!
But it was a good match. It was an okay match.
And just so you know, if Matt Hardy throws you in a lake, do not go into lakes around Matt Hardy. You will be woken.
Of course, there is the possibility that this Woken family is going to get bigger and bigger.
There is a theory that, spoiler alert, that Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas have been looking for faction. So this would finally unite the Wyatt brothers, because Bo Dallas is Bray Wyatt's real life brother. So
it'd be nice to see them finally get a push, actual good push.
That would be awesome.
Okay, let's move on to the next match, which was the U.S. title, I think?
Yeah, it was U.S.
It was Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. Now we're going to get to my botch. Here's what the freaking hell happened, and why you cannot trust Jinder Mahal to do anything. Jeff Hardy tries to do Whisper in the Wind. Jinder Mahal was nowhere near the spot he was in, and Jeff Hardy hit nothing. Yet Jinder Mahal takes a fall like he just got hit by an invisible punch.
He looks over at him, sees Jeff Hardy land, and decides to fall down and sell the Whisper in the Wind. So, yeah, I don't get that either.
That was the stupidest thing I've ever thought you would ever do, Jinder Mahal. You were actually very slowly getting me behind you because you have been, in fact, working so hard. But for you to just botch something so bad and then just try and sell it a minute later, you don't do that.
Junior,
if you fail,
come back
if you
here.
miss a wrestling point, if you mess up a wrestling move, you try and adapt to it. You don't try and finish what you're trying to do it like a minute later after it's already been missed.
That would have been a good time to go ahead and do stomping, maybe put him in a rear face lock, rear chin lock, kind of get a setting on where you wanted to go next. Not sell the move so Jeff Hardy can come up and start doing this shit anyway. But you could have sold it. Jeff Hardy could have reversed it, maybe done like a jawbreaker, hit you with a twist of fate, and hit you with the Swanton Bomb, because that's basically what happened after that anyway. But it was, yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. That was awful.
Overall, this was a bad match in my opinion.
This is probably the worst match that Jeff Hardy's had in a while. Besides, the only match I think was worse was when he was in TNA and he showed up all fucked up, and Sting had to forcibly pin him for the championship. It was a couple years ago. That was bad.
Junior, come back here.
The next match we're gonna roll right in.
Right. Let's move on.
Was the Intercontinental Championship?
It was the SmackDown tag titles.
I'm sorry, SmackDown tag titles between
the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. The Bludgeon Brothers come out on top.
I think it was almost a fucking squash.
It
had its moments. But
it was close. It was close to being a squash. I would say it's almost not squash. because the Usos had a lot of good moments. Overall, it was what you expected to be. The Bludgeon Brothers came out dominant. The Usos managed to pull off some good moves. They managed to pull off their finishers, but the Bludgeon Brothers, showing their strength, kicked out of that, no problem. And in the end, the Bludgeon Brothers came out on top. And I think they're getting a lot of good momentum behind them. And I'm interested to see how they do it against some of the tag teams that have made their way to SmackDown, like Gallows and Anderson or Sanity.
Oh yeah, it's going to be interesting how they go. I think the Usos at this point they're not they won't ever be jobbers to me, but I think they're at that point in their career where they're able to push up other tag teams. So when they have the belt, it's not specifically to make them better, it's so they can make the team that takes it from them better.
Right, like the New Day.
Yeah.
But I think they should be pushing the New Day to do single titles as well, anyway, because I think they're ready for that. Anyway.
I think we should. Where are they getting all these pancakes?
I don't know.
Literally, pancakes were everywhere in the Royal Rumble section.
That came from Big E.
Yeah, so,
anyway,
now it's the Intercontinental match. That was a match ahead.
The Intercontinental match between Seth Rollins, Miz, Samoa Joe, and Finn Balor. Love this match.
It was great. I liked everything except for the end.
What do you mean?
Alright, well, it's not like I have a problem with the end. I like the opportunist part of it. But Finn Balor basically had the belt in his hands. And I feel like they overlapped their time period that they were supposed to. And, like, so Seth Rollins just heard him jump. Basically didn't sell anything. That Finn was just trying to, like, smack at him. And then fucking he pulled the belt and dropped off the ladder.
You getting tired?
I feel like that... It was a time relapse probably, or they went over more than they were supposed to. Because all these matches were like that we're talking about were like 15, 20 minutes long. Because the Royal Rumble itself was like 2 hours. It was a 5-hour pay-per-view. So every match, I think the longest match was the main event, and I think maybe it was a half hour. So you have like, I think the first 2 were 15-minute matches. The rest of them were 20, and then the main event, the Universal Title match, was 30 minutes. And I even think the WWE Championship was a 20-minute match.
But still, I really love this match, and I'm going to go ahead and say it's one of my favorites.
It was a good match, though. Like I said, I don't know why the ending happened the way it did, but it was, as far as before that, it was a great match. Still not, it wasn't touching the cruiserweights and ring performance, but I thought it was great. Alright, now we're going to roll into the next match.
Why are you smelling my feet?
The next match is, I believe, the WWE title, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
This match I did not like.
Yeah. This match, yeah, something's been going wrong with this match. Weird thing is, though, we like the new direction Shinsuke's going, but we don't like how his matches with AJ Styles is going. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like...
We loved the matches between AJ versus Shinsuke back when we were both faces.
Little DSP.
Yeah, say hi, little DSP.
Say hi.
Hi.
Anyway, the match didn't start off bad, really. I mean, I like his new theme song, though. The match didn't start off bad, but then it started somehow gradually getting a little bit worse somehow.
And then they ended it out to...
a double countout.
Yeah, which... Again, I was...
But it kind of makes sense in my opinion, given the fact that AJ Styles wears his heart on his sleeve.
It is going to make sense, and I think that, Backlash, that's going to pay dividends for Shinsuke.
Which in my opinion, they should make a last man standing or something, so that way there is a definitive answer.
Yeah, me too. That way you can't be disqualified, you can't be counted out. I want it to be no interruptions. We want this feud to end, right? Yeah. So, and then it would allow, I think, AJ to, drop down, and it'd give him a break from being the face of the place, basically, because that's what he's been doing for a minute now. And it would give Shinsuke a good heel title run. I'm not saying that, he won't. It'd end basically if Backlash. It'll be the pay-per-view after Backlash where it would end, because AJ would get his rematch. And
well, let's say Shinsuke doesn't win the title. Who do you think should be in the WWE title picture against him?
Honestly, there's so many good people.
I mean, in my opinion, the top 2 people I can think of are Samoa Joe and Shelton Benjamin. That's just my opinion. I think Shelton Benjamin's got WWE championship status in him.
I almost kind of feel that if they don't give it to him, I'm not saying that. I definitely think. I don't know. I don't think that Shelton Benjamin, since he just got split from his tag, maybe should be put in that picture. He does deserve it, but storyline wise, it would make more sense to put him in the U.S. belt, swap him out for Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe would be a great WWE champion right now. and he would be a good leader of the brand. Also, you got to think Daniel Bryan just came back from he lasted longest in the Royal Rumble. I'm thinking that at some point they may put the strap back on him.
Right, but we'll talk about the Rumble later. Overall, yeah, not one of our favorite matches.
No.
It's nowhere near as bad as the U.S. title picture, in my opinion. Nowhere near.
No, that was a fest in its own self. Then the next match, we're going to roll right into the Universal Championship match, which was a steel cage.
Between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And right now, I'm getting behind this Roman Reigns conspiracy theory. Because that match... Because this was a finisher versus finisher match that, well, I'm having very mixed feelings about. And what's worse is that I'm getting behind this Roman Reigns conspiracy theory because Brock Lesnar's feet did not touch the floor.
No, and here basically what happened is Brock Lesnar got speared through the cage and it broke the side of the cage.
Which was a great moment.
That was an epic moment. But Brock Lesnar's feet were resting against the apron, and Roman's hit the ground.
And part of the cage. And even if it didn't rest on the apron, it did not. It hit on the cage floor that was like bent up in a way where it wasn't even touching the floor. But Roman Reigns was. So, now I'm getting behind this Roman Reigns conspiracy theory.
Now, mind you, the only thing that saves WWE from the conspiracy theory for me is that no title except for Raw was supposed to change hands or be awarded to anyone else. The reason why I say that is because literally no title changed hands, period. The only title that got holders that was new was the Raw belt, but that was a given because they were vacated because Braun Strowman won the championship
with a 10-year-old.
With a 10-year-old named Nicholas. But beware, in 20 years from now, Nicholas could be a force to be reckoned with.
Anyway, moving on. Let's move on. What about you were saying and with your theory?
All right. The Royal Rumble comes. Now, we're going to go ahead.
I was talking about the Universal title picture. I thought you still had more to say about
that. The only thing that would save them from the conspiracy theory for me would be that they didn't want it to change hands at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I, however, am... Don't put your foot on the computer. Go on.
Sorry about that.
But I do believe...
He's trying to go in and go straight back to Chelsea.
Yeah, well, keep him in the back hallway. I'm kind of... We'll get him to go in his room. I kind of do agree with you with the conspiracy theory at this point. You're setting Roman Reigns up. If he can't get the job done, like he can't sell the merch that you want him to sell or get the fan backing that you want him to have, which he did get a pop actually in Saudi Arabia, so... but if he can't be that way, then turn him heel. I think he'll be a great heel, and that would make sense to the booing. But if you can't make him be a good face,
that or they could make him. They could be like making a gimmick where he's like a paranoid, where he's like some kind of paranoid theorist, and he's like start writing shit down.
That would be good.
That would be like fun. That'd be funny and kind of.
What
like
if for a moment they added him to the Woken family?
Ooh.
Woken room. Anyway, there's lots of shit you could do with him. If you don't want to make him the Universal Champion right now, hand it to someone else.
Yes.
Take it from Brock.
Yes, for crying out loud, people, quit giving it to the part-timer. Yeah. The Universal title should be like the WWE title and defend it every month, not every big pay-per-view.
You're basically... Look, and I look at WWE as a whole, so like I'm not a Raw guy, I'm not a SmackDown guy, I'm a WWE guy.
Same.
But at the same point, you're making SmackDown have a lot more definitively and saying, hey, look, our champion defends his belt every pay-per-view that he's in. Your champion comes to like 3 pay-per-views, maximum 5. So, you know what I mean, Brock Lesnar does SummerSlam, he does Royal Rumble, he does WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and now he does the Greatest Royal Rumble because it's definitely going to happen for 10 years. So, you now have made him do 5 pay-per-views. That's the only time that the belt has changed hands. Why Roman didn't get it is beyond me.
Let's move on.
Now let's move on to the Greatest Royal Rumble. Because there was 50 men in it.
First off, congrats to Daniel Bryan on breaking Rey Mysterio's record of longest being in the Royal Rumble the longest.
He was in there a little bit over an hour and 5 minutes. I think it was actually...
hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Hour and 15 minutes. The time. He was my pick to win, honestly.
He was sort of my half pick. My other half pick won.
Yeah. If it wasn't him, I said Braun Strowman was going to get it. I'm actually glad that Braun Strowman got it.
Yes.
If it wasn't him or Daniel Bryan, I was gonna be mad. Like I like Bobby Lashley, but I don't think he should come in and win the Greatest Royal Rumble. You haven't done anything to earn a top spot like that.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about Big Cass when Lashley did that brainbuster.
They had a botch. I think it was supposed to be the Superplex. Basically a standing, extended hold up suplex, and he dropped Big Cass. Actually, he dropped him twice. He dropped him, and Big Cass was able to get his balance back up again. Big Cass doesn't have a lot of experience being held up that high because he's always the bigger man. Before you do that, that would be a time where you really need to let Big Cass practice something like that first, because that's a lot of weight that Bobby Lashley has. But what most people don't understand is when you do a hold up Superman plex, it's your job as the person doing it to be able to have the power to hold that person, but also the person up in the moves able to balance themselves to stay up for that long. And Big Cass doesn't have that type of experience, again, because he's always the bigger guy. He's 7 foot tall. Well, really 6'6", but for billing wise, he's 7 foot tall. And he's going against people like Rey Mysterio, Enzo, you know what I mean? People like that. So he's not used to being the guy that gets dominated. So that was a bad botch. It looked like he possibly was able to get hurt, and I think it may have paid a dividends to, he looked a little out of it for the rest of the match for a little bit. So he may have gotten
But he managed to get like his
bearings back at the end of the match.
Yeah.
He was a part of the final two. It ended up being him versus Strowman, and that was a good match in itself too. It was a nice little power against power match.
And there was some surprises too, like Tucker Knight of Heavy Machinery.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah. That was funny. Roderick Strong came in. Hiroku Sumi, I'm not sure what wrestling brand he's part of, or if he's from a wrestling company at all that's not probably sumo wrestling. Or there's Baba Tawanda. I can't say his name to save my life. Anyway, but he was a big dude.
And then you had, you had Rey Mysterio, which was good. There's lots of great talent that was able to hop into the, Royal Rumble this year, which is good. Saudi Arabia has a thing. If you're wondering why you didn't see any female, Saudi Arabia has almost like a cultural law in effect that females don't do sports entertainment. They don't do entertainment or sports. So,
but they are making some strides.
Yeah, the president the king. Yeah, the prince, who is he's the appointed prince. He's definitely making changes. He's allowing them to drive. He's making it. He's more female oriented or more female empowering. Which I'm thinking that somewhere in the near future you will see them wrestle, the women wrestle. However, they were paid their contract. They were paid to not be there. So
we're not disrespecting Saudi Arabia culture or anything, but we believe that you're making great strides, Saudi Arabia. We'd love to see more events from you in the future. And
your city's gorgeous, by the way. Like it was a great
it was like a desert paradise in my opinion. Anyway, that's been our review of the Greatest Royal Rumble match. How would you rate this match from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, as well as your favorite match of the card?
Well, my favorite match of the card was the Cruiserweight Championship match. It was good. There was a story to be told. They had never gotten to wrestle with each other. To have that kind of chemistry in the ring, as a fan, it's great to watch. As a guy that knows the fourth wall curtain part of the business, it was great to be able to see two guys that really haven't gotten to work with each other and go out and put on a great match. It was Reversal City, basically. It was a great studded. They did their homework match. And it got the crowd ready to go for the next match, which did its job. And it helped Cedric Alexander all that more legitimately as a Cruiserweight Championship. Or champion. As a rating, I have to go with a 7.
7?
7. Here's why. The Greatest Royal Rumble and the match, the Cruiserweight match and the Intercontinental match really boosted this. I don't understand the Roman Reigns thing. The Triple H and John Cena match, while it is two legends in their own right, was boring.
We missed one match. Undertaker versus Rusev in the casket match.
Oh! How we forget the DEADMAN match?
I am sorry, Dead Man.
And we're so
I'm so
sorry.
sorry. It was a really good match.
Yeah, that's that. You know why we forget things like this? Me and him have. I think this week we've shot 2 videos. We've been so busy this week, guys. It's been insane. We also have a podcast, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with that.
Anyway.
Crazy, but it was a good match. The Dead Man came out looking better than ever.
Get back here, Junior.
He had even tombstone Aiden English, and for the first time ever, put 2 people in a casket.
I think he's done it before. I think he's put 2 people in the casket.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
If not, first time ever. If so, first time in over a decade that there's been a casket match that Undertaker's been a part of. So,
Or at least one. Yeah, at least one he's been a part of. Anyway, you said you give this thing.
I forgot about that match. I had to upgrade my shit to like maybe 8 stars. We were in Saudi Arabia, which is a beautiful city for the first time ever. We had a trophy and a new championship introduced. You know, even though it's probably only Saudi Arabian.
That trophy was big.
Yeah, it was huge. It was bigger than I thought it was when they brought it out to the ring. I think there's so much that's going to develop from this. It's going to be great, and it was great following a second WrestleMania. Basically, that's basically what I consider it was a second WrestleMania. My favorite match still was the Cruiserweight Championship. My second favorite match, definitely the casket match. Sorry, Dead Man, we didn't mean to forget you.
Forgive us, Dead Man.
But hold on, one downfall. I did bury Rusev Day.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens with Rusev Day from here on in. If Rusev Day is gonna be even coming back at all, like say
it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna take like a few weeks before we see Rusev or Aiden English again.
Which maybe is not so bad. I don't know if you guys know this. Aiden English is married to Eddie Guerrero and Vicky Guerrero's daughter, and Rusev and Lana are married. So this may be the time off that they needed. Also, I did hear something through the grapevine. Talk is that WWE is wanting to sign Undertaker to more shows. They want him to at least do 5 pay-per-views this year, counting the Greatest Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. They want him to come back, I believe, for SummerSlam and Survivor Series. Well, yeah. So that's why technically supposedly he got the win. Originally, it was planned for Rusev to bury the Dead Man, and he was going to do his send off until next year's WrestleMania. And they offered, and I'm thinking that Undertaker must have accepted because the results were changed, basically.
Okay, well then give Magic a fancy book from that. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and give my ratings for this. I'm gonna give it, even forgetting the casket match, my number wasn't gonna change at all. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Great match. There were some great matches, but some not so great matches. It was a very back and forth thing for me. I will never let it go on how Jinder Mahal botched the Whisper in the Wind. I will never, just like WWE, I will never let go about the Titus O'Neil tripping thing.
We can say it was the pancakes, even though they were on the total other side of the ring.
Yeah, and that didn't happen until like Big E came back
later.
Yeah. Anyway, favorite match on the card, in my opinion, was the Intercontinental title match. I know you didn't like the ending and all, but I really liked it. And really liked the overall match.
The rest of it was good. It was just the ending I didn't understand.
Yeah, great spots, great moments with the ladders and everything, and.
Sorry, guys.
Oh my God! What's with you and freaking pancakes? Why don't you go join the freaking New Day?
Oh, believe me, if they would take me as a member, you would see DSP in a New Day shirt. I'm going to do the whole unicorn thing, but I would totally do the pancakes.
Anyway, even when they did make some small botches on their own, they did manage to adapt to the situation. So yeah, overall, close second was definitely the Cruiserweight title match, and third was definitely the casket match. But overall, 7.5 for me, 8 for you. The was great overall.
It was.
Ignore him.
I thought it was a great pay-per-view. It was good to have a second WrestleMania. I was kind of confused on why we were doing it, so I had to do some research, get some through the grapevine, basically. Reasons, but it was a good overall pay-per-view. I'm glad that we're going to be doing this. I'm glad that Saudi Arabia is kind of letting us come into their beautiful city. I'm glad that they're kind of evolving from their culture is growing. And I'm glad about that. I think there's going to be a great opportunity, and we may have inherited 4 new talent. So overall, it's a win-win for me.
And with that, we give our review of the greatest Royal Rumble event in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. With that, I am Sharky Smiles Dragon.
I'm DSP.
Make sure to leave a like, drop a comment down below, and of course, subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to not be like Jerry Mahal. Don't botch this. Hit that bell button, smash, 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 so you can see our videos when they come
We
up
will
first.
never forget this, Jinder Mahal. With that, we say peace to everyone and to all you Dragonites, and good day.